The story began in a mysterious world located thousands of kilometers below the Earth's surface. From the skies to the depths of the water, dangerous creatures had spread their terror everywhere. It was here that we first saw the protector of this world, King Kong, who had arrived at the edge of a lake with a small monkey. But he had absolutely no idea that he was about to fall into a trap that had already been set for him. The small monkey suddenly sensed that a great danger was lurking inside the lake ahead. Yet he deliberately provoked Kong into entering the water. But his cleverness could not be hidden from Kong. Kong simply sniffed the surrounding air lightly and immediately understood that he was about to get good prey today. After that, Kong stepped into the lake without saying a word and began bathing comfortably. Meanwhile, the small monkey grew nervous that his trick might be discovered, so he pretended to be drinking water. Just then, a strange creature began moving rapidly toward them. While bathing, Kong also sensed the danger. The moment he turned around to look, a massive dragon lunged at him with its huge mouth wide open. Seeing this, the small monkey understood that his plan had succeeded and he immediately began running toward the shore to save himself. Kong had won every kind of battle on land, but he was facing this kind of enemy in water for the very first time. Kong was just trying to figure out the dragon's move when the dragon suddenly dragged him straight into the depths of the lake. But the dragon had no idea how dangerous Kong becomes when he is angry. Meanwhile, the small monkey was thinking that he had finally escaped from Kong forever. But the very next moment, King Kong's massive weapon came crashing down right in front of him. Before the small monkey could understand anything, Kong slammed the severed head of that dragon right in front of him. Seeing this, the small monkey thought that Kong would now beat him badly, but Kong did nothing. Instead, he picked up his axe and signaled him to move forward. In truth, the monkey did not know that King Kong had been wandering alone in this world for thousands of years, searching for someone like himself. He would go hungry every day, and often the dangerous wolves of this world would chase and torment him relentlessly. When hundreds of wolves would come after him, he would somehow escape using his leaps. But this time, the pack of wolves did not give up the chase. They kept constantly trying to surround him. Finally, when a deep ravine appeared before him and no escape route remained, he was forced to turn around and prepare himself to fight. The wolves thought that the prey would be easy this time, but they had no idea that King Kong had already laid a trap and was waiting. The moment one wolf leaped forward, Kong's trap suddenly activated and the wolf was immediately caught in it. As it fell into the pit, sharp wooden spears pierced right through the wolf. Seizing the right moment, Kong immediately lifted a heavy tree trunk and threw it into the pit. As the traps activated one by one, huge boulders came rolling down from the mountain and the wolves that were trying to flee got trapped right there. But even as the smoke cleared, some wolves that had survived alive were still not ready to let go of their prey. In his rage, King Kong grabbed the body of one wolf and, showing his strength, tore it apart forcefully into two pieces. Seeing this, the remaining wolves tucked their tails and fled from there in fear. However, even after getting his prey, there was no joy on King Kong's face because a rotten tooth in his mouth had been troubling him greatly. Just then, a lizard that had been hiding nearby saw its chance, grabbed a piece of meat and began to run away. King Kong immediately lunged forward to stop it, but at that very moment, his attention was drawn to a sound coming from far away. Hearing that roar coming from the valley, he felt that perhaps someone of his own was calling out to him, so he immediately ran in that direction. But upon arriving there, he found only a strange frog that was making the exact same sound as him. Even after wandering for years, he was alone, and this emptiness was breaking him from within. Finally, the pain of the tooth forced him to seek help from humans. Even though he did not want to, he stepped into the human world. Upon arriving there, King Kong collapsed on a hillside and began waiting for help. Just then, by luck, some scientists spotted him, but in their panic, the humans gave him a heavy dose of anesthesia for safety, which caused him to fall unconscious right there. After that, they called the most famous dentist in the city. The dentist, without wasting a single moment, tightly tied a strong steel wire around that rotten tooth to pull it out. In the meantime, Kong let out a foul rotten stench from his mouth. After all the preparations were complete, just as the spacecraft suddenly took off into the air, at that very moment, with a jerk, King Kong's massive tooth came right out. When King Kong regained consciousness, he saw that his old tooth had now been replaced with a strong titanium tooth. With this new tooth, tremendous power surged through him, making him feel that he could now defeat anyone. But just then, an emergency signal suddenly arrived in the lab from King Kong's world, which startled everyone. To find out the truth behind this signal, the scientists immediately assembled a rescue team and launched a mission. They jumped into the portal along with King Kong, which led directly into Kong's world. As they moved forward, their spacecraft began to be pulled downward at high speed, and within moments they had entered that mysterious world. Upon reaching home, Kong saw that his food had been stolen. He immediately picked up his axe and went straight to the top of the rock. There he saw a faint blue light emerging from inside a deep crack, which caught his attention. To find out the truth, he jumped straight into that depth without thinking. The moment he reached the pitch darkness, his axe began to glow on its own. As the light fell around him, he could see that strange glowing stones were scattered everywhere, reacting to the light. Just then, a terrifying roar suddenly echoed from far away. Following that sound, he reached beyond the waterfall, where he discovered a new hidden world. Moving forward slowly, he sensed a strange smell that was drawing him toward it. Suddenly, an extremely dangerous and massive shadow appeared before him. The moment he saw it, King Kong immediately raised his axe and prepared himself for the confrontation. As the distance between the two kept decreasing, that massive shadow gradually grew smaller, and when it finally came into view, the truth turned out to be something else entirely. In reality, it was not a monster at all but a small innocent yellow-haired monkey, which surprised even Kong himself. For the first time in thousands of years. Upon seeing someone like himself, King Kong immediately bowed down and put his weapon aside. After that, he extended his hand forward to make friends with the monkey. He had thought that the small monkey would also be happy to see someone like himself, but suddenly the monkey bit King Kong hard. After finding someone like himself with such great difficulty, King Kong did not want to let him go so easily. So he ran after the monkey, but just then a frightening shadow suddenly appeared behind him, which startled him badly because he had never before seen a bald gorilla of his own size. As Kong began moving toward him, two long-armed gorillas suddenly came from behind and slammed him hard onto the ground. The smile on the bald one's face made it clear that they had come with the intention to fight. So King Kong now made up his mind to finish them off. He immediately picked up a stone and hurled it directly at the gorilla. The bald one, in his rage, also came charging at him, but Kong outsmarted him too. Within moments, he kept knocking everyone to the ground. Even the bald one picked up Kong's axe but could do nothing with it and ended up flat on his back. Just as King Kong moved forward to pick up his weapon, the small yellow monkey suddenly came running and lunged at his face trying to attack him. Seeing this, King Kong grabbed him too and used him as a weapon to give the remaining gorillas a thorough beating. Although they knew they could not face King Kong, they still kept attacking him one by one. In the meantime, one monkey accidentally fell into a ravine, but King Kong moved swiftly and immediately grabbed him and pulled him up. But instead of showing any gratitude, he picked up a knife from the ground and struck King Kong with it. Seeing this, King Kong's anger flared up and he gave a powerful kick, sending him back into the deep ravine once again. Seeing this fate, the bald one got scared and immediately turned around and started running. King Kong picked up a nearby stone and hurled it toward him, which went straight and hit him right on the head. Even after getting hurt, he muttered something and fled from there without looking back. Just then, King Kong caught that monkey hiding among the trees, pulled him out and slammed him hard onto the ground. After that, he picked up the bald one's dropped knife from the ground and signaled to the small monkey to take him to the gorilla's hideout. The poor little monkey had no choice but to walk ahead, and King Kong kept following behind him. As they moved deeper inside, they began to see many dangerous animals around them. But inside this seemingly peaceful place, danger was hidden at every step. The small monkey cleverly led him into the territory where the massive dragon lived in order to save himself. But little did he know that King Kong was not going to last long in front of Kong. Suddenly a massive dragon appeared before him, but instead of being afraid, Kong finished it off within just a few minutes and then sat down comfortably and began eating it. Seeing this, the small monkey also wanted to come near him but could not gather the courage due to fear. King Kong, noticing his condition, broke off a piece of meat himself and extended it toward him. Even then, the small monkey could not bring himself to trust him. Seeing this, King Kong got angry and threw the meat on the ground as if to say take it or leave it. The monkey, exhausted from hunger, immediately began eating the meat, and with every bite his perspective began to change. He felt that King Kong was not as bad as he had thought. Gradually he gathered his courage, came and sat near King Kong, and both of them began spending time together peacefully. In that moment, it felt just like a father spending quiet moments with his child. But neither of them had any idea that as they moved forward, danger was rapidly closing in on them. As they went deeper, King Kong finally caught sight of beings like himself, but his heart broke to see that they were all living in extremely terrible conditions. They were all forced to labor all day long and their lives were no less than hell. During this time, an old monkey accidentally dropped a stone, which made a gorilla furious, and he beat the old monkey badly. Seeing this, King Kong could not hold himself back and he slammed his axe into the ground and picked up the old monkey. Just then, a guard present there charged angrily toward King Kong and began warning him not to interfere. But the very next moment, King Kong's courage ignited hope in the rest of the monkeys. At that very same time, the bald gorilla who had fled was watching all of this. He immediately went and told the ruler of this place, Scar King, everything. The moment Scar King heard what the gorilla had to say, his fury erupted. As he rose from his throne, every monkey in his path bowed down before him. But King Kong stood his ground without any fear. Scar King studied him carefully, and upon seeing the steel tooth in Kong's mouth, he burst out laughing. But the very next moment, to unleash his anger, he kicked a monkey and sent him flying into the burning lava. Seeing this, King Kong's rage reached its peak. To show his power, Scar King pulled out the weapon from his shoulder and prepared himself to teach King Kong a lesson. King Kong also immediately raised his axe and a ferocious battle broke out between the two. Taking advantage of his long weapon, Scar King launched a sudden attack and King Kong could not steady himself even for a moment. Scar King used the crystal on his weapon to land multiple strikes on Kong. In his rage, Kong lunged at him. In terms of pure strength, he could not stand against King Kong, so he kept his distance from Kong and continued striking relentlessly, and King Kong was gradually forced to fall back. In the midst of this, King Kong's axe also slid from his hand and fell to the ground. Seizing the opportunity, Scar King grabbed King Kong's throat with his weapon and began trying to bring him under control. Scar King thought he had now won the fight, but King Kong gathered all his strength, lifted him up and slammed him hard onto the ground. King Kong brought him down in no time at all. Just then, Scar King decided that he would only be satisfied after showing Kong his true power. The moment the stone on his weapon began to glow, the gorillas suddenly dropped rocks to block the path of the lava. At that exact moment, the eyes of a terrifying monster hiding in the cave became visible. The scorching ground suddenly turned to ice and out emerged that same massive massive creature, Titan Shimo, who had once frozen the entire world in ice. Scar King immediately ordered it to attack Kong, but Shimo did not appear pleased with this command. As pressure was applied on him, he writhed in pain and was forced to attack. King Kong moved swiftly, leaped immediately, and saved himself from the first strike. After that he tried to steady himself by holding his axe out in front, but all his efforts began to fall weak against Shimo's power. Before their very eyes, his hand began to freeze and kept turning to ice. This sudden attack badly injured his right hand and he began to grow weak. Seizing the moment, Scar King immediately gave the order to finish him off. Just as the next attack was about to land, the small monkey from behind began pointing toward a tunnel and urging him to run immediately. At that very same moment, Shimo was compelled to attack again. Seeing this, King Kong immediately turned and dashed into the tunnel at full speed. But even now hundreds of dangerous monkeys were still on his tail. The good thing was that after years of living here, Kong had set up many traps throughout the jungle. But those monkeys were so numerous that the injured Kong was quickly cornered in a dead-end passage. Now only this last trap remained that he could rely on. But the monkeys that had been getting caught in traps all along the way suddenly became alert this time. They immediately spotted the vine lying on the ground that was meant to activate the trap. When Kong saw that his plan had failed, he felt that his end was near. At that very moment, the trap set on the hillside suddenly activated and hundreds of tons of heavy rocks came crashing straight down on them, burying all the monkeys present there under those stones. Just then Kong saw that the one who had activated the trap was none other than the small monkey himself. Now Kong was badly injured and was in no condition to fight, so he began making his way back to the humans, leaning on the small monkey for support. But he had no idea that one monkey had still survived. Meanwhile, the scientists who had come with Kong saw that their base had been completely destroyed. Just then their eyes fell on a massive handprint on top of a rock, from which they deduced that creatures as large as Kong existed in this world too. Soon they reached deep into the jungle where they spotted a hidden device. The moment the girl pressed it, water began flowing down from multiple places at once. That water merged and formed a strong current which began flowing deeper into the jungle. Following it, the scientists arrived before a mysterious magical wall that had concealed an invisible place within the jungle. The moment they touched that wall, a blue glow ran through it. Seeing this, they immediately made an opening in the wall, and right then a sight appeared before them that left their eyes wide open. Behind the wall existed a beautiful and mysterious world that no one had ever seen or even heard of before. The moment the scientists stepped into this world, they were suddenly surrounded by tribal people of that world. These people looked like humans, but their attire was completely unlike any ordinary human. Without causing any harm to the scientists, they took them directly to their tribe. Upon arriving there, they learned that these people had been living beneath the earth for thousands of years and were guarding the portal that was directly connected to the world above. Scar King had been searching for this very place for years so that he could use this portal to take over the human world. At that exact same time, following the scent of humans, King Kong made his way to the scientists. But because of the invisible wall, he could not see the world within. So the tribal people created an opening in that magical wall, through which Kong easily entered and came directly among the humans. But they did not know that the monkey who had been following them had seen all of this. The moment King Kong reached the humans, he suddenly grew weak and fell straight to the ground. The scientists saw that Kong's hand was badly injured and he was now in no condition to do anything. Seeing this, the doctor immediately decided that Kong's hand would have to be completely replaced. The idea of a mechanical arm came to him instantly. This was the same super mechanical arm that the humans had designed to make Kong even more powerful. The good thing was that this gadget was still safely stored in the underground mechanical storage beneath a destroyed base. Soon the doctor retrieved it from there and brought it directly above Kong's body and released it, and then the machine began identifying Kong's injured part on its own and started connecting itself. The moment the special medicine inside that arm reached Kong's body, the unconscious Kong began to feel a new surge of strength. The joy on his face made it clear that he was very pleased with this new weapon. But just then the small monkey came running in from within the jungle and arrived there. He told Kong that Scar King had already located the portal and was about to attack the tribe together with Shimo. Kong alone could not face both Scar King and Shimo, so only one option remained for him: to go into the human world and wake Godzilla, who had been sleeping for many years. But he had absolutely no idea that the very one he was going to call for help would turn out to be the greatest danger for him. Suddenly the ground around the pyramid began to shake violently and a mechanical hand emerged from below. This was the place that opened the portal leading to the surface. Soon Kong emerged out of the portal. The moment Godzilla sensed Kong's presence, he suddenly woke from his sleep and without wasting a single moment began moving straight toward him. The moment he came face to face with Kong, Godzilla felt that Kong had come to challenge him. So without wasting a single moment, he came charging at him with full force. The rage in his eyes made it absolutely clear that he was not going to let Kong survive. Seeing Godzilla rushing toward him at full speed, Kong raised his hand and tried to reason with him. But Godzilla was in no mood to listen to anything. He rammed straight into Kong and sent him flying hundreds of meters away. Seeing Godzilla show no signs of stopping, Kong attacked from behind to somehow calm him down. But the moment sand got into Godzilla's eyes, he became even more enraged. He turned around and clamped Kong's hand in his jaws and slammed him hard onto the ground, leaving Kong completely disoriented. Before Kong could even recover, Godzilla was at him again. When words achieved nothing, Kong also launched a powerful counterattack. Although Godzilla was in his most powerful form, with the strength of the mechanical arm, Kong was now no less than anyone either. But when Kong realized he could not defeat Godzilla, he grabbed him without wasting a single moment and forcefully began dragging him toward the portal. On the other side, the tribal people mixed a special red liquid into the water to stop Scar King. The moment the liquid dissolved in the water, a magical transformation began. A system was activated that began connecting two massive pyramids to each other, and as these pyramids connected, gravity would be eliminated for a period of time, causing everything to float in the air and making it nearly impossible for Scar King to reach the portal. But before the pyramids could fully connect, Scar King arrived there. Upon arriving, he immediately recognized that anti-gravity system. He instantly ordered Shimo to block the path between the pyramids with ice. Just then a powerful light suddenly burst from the portal and came crashing to the ground. The very next moment Godzilla and Kong tore through the debris and emerged. The moment Godzilla's eyes fell on Shimo and Scar King, he understood everything about why Kong had brought him here. So without wasting a single second, he joined forces with Kong and launched at them. On the other side, Scar King also began advancing toward them along with Shimo. Neither side was weak. The moment all four clashed, the ice shattered and the pyramids collided with each other. The wave released from that collision eliminated the gravity of the entire area. Everyone began floating in the air. But even so, Godzilla moved swiftly even without gravity and began advancing directly toward Shimo. Meanwhile, the cunning Scar King picked up Kong's axe and attacked him with it. But Kong blocked every strike with his mechanical arm. Within moments the situation reversed and Kong began to overpower Scar King. But due to being outnumbered, he began getting attacked from behind. Seeing this, the small monkey picked up stones and began helping Kong. Seizing the moment, Shimo launched an attack on Godzilla and within moments froze him completely in ice. But Godzilla was no less than him either. He shattered the ice in a single motion. At that very moment the anti-gravity system shut off and gravity returned once again. Seizing his chance, Scar King broke free from Kong's grip and jumped straight into the portal. To stop him, Godzilla and Kong also jumped in after him. But in all the chaos, Kong's axe was left behind. On the other side, the humans had no idea what enormous danger was coming their way. Suddenly the ocean waves froze solid and turned into mountains of ice. The very next moment Scar King arrived on Earth along with Shimo. Feeling the light of the open sky, he looked down at the humans below and let out a thunderous roar. Now he felt that the time had come to rule the entire world. He ordered Shimo to freeze the sky. Shimo did not want to do this. Yet out of compulsion, he began raining ice in every direction. Before their very eyes, buildings began shattering violently in this devastation. Just when Scar King felt that nothing could stop him now, Kong delivered a powerful punch that sent his 3-ton tooth crashing to the ground. In his rage, Scar King ordered an attack on Kong, but at that very moment Godzilla arrived there and held Shimo back. Now without Shimo's help, Scar King could not hold out much longer. So he picked up a massive building and hurled it toward Kong, but it did not cause Kong any significant harm. Just then Shimo suddenly came from behind and lunged at Kong's mechanical arm. Shimo began freezing Kong's hand once again. Seeing this, Scar King felt that his victory was now certain, but he ignored the rage-filled Godzilla standing behind him. Godzilla immediately awakened his full power and his body blazed with purple light. The very next moment he launched a devastating attack directly at Scar King, but Scar King somehow managed to escape in panic. He tried to counterattack with his weapon, but Godzilla grabbed it and broke it into two pieces in a single motion, causing the crystal that controlled Shimo to fall to the ground. Scar King lunged to grab it, but Godzilla gave him no opportunity. Now everything came down to that crystal. Whoever got the crystal in their hands would win this battle. At that crucial moment, the small monkey's eyes fell on Kong's abandoned axe. He immediately leaped down, picked up the axe and arrived in the human world. The moment his eyes landed on that crystal lying on the ground, without any delay he smashed it to pieces with a single strike of the axe. The moment the crystal shattered, Shimo became completely free. Scar King, filled with rage, was just about to grab the small monkey and destroy him, but Kong stepped in between, launched at him and brought Scar King down with just a few punches. Now without that crystal, Scar King had grown weak. On the other side, the now free Shimo began looking toward Godzilla as if waiting for some signal. And then after thousands of years, he did what he had always wanted to do. In a single instant, he turned Scar King into an ice statue. The very next moment Kong hurled him into the air and slammed him onto the ground with full force, shattering his body right there. The battle was now over, but the world still needed to be healed. Just then Godzilla looked up toward the sky and released a tremendous surge of energy which cleared the dark clouds and sunlight slowly returned to the earth. After this, Godzilla returned to his territory and once again fell into a deep sleep, and Kong returned beneath the earth with his new companion, where he began a new chapter together with his tribe. By the way, I have just created a new channel on which many amazing videos are going to be coming soon.